Okay, hello. I'm a bit bored, so I decided to set up a little board game similar to Magic the Noah's 30 YouTuber game show where contestants would move across the board in vertical and horizontal manners in order to fight each other and win. And the losers or every time someone lost or died, they would add some kind of feature or new tile to the board that would help spice up the game. So, what I'm going to do is similar to that. Instead of like a life system or something, I'm going to make it a race towards the golden tile here. Um, so, for example, let's say I spawn here and Mr. Dice spawns here. I would both of our goals would be to try and reach the golden square. So we still have like the same kind of fight mechanics where if I choose to try and move on to an occupied square, I would have to fight the player there, and if I win, I push them off and I take over the space, or if I lose, I simply don't move. And the winner of each battle will gain a power. So we all start with one power. So in our first fight, if it's player on player, we'll start with one power versus one power, like a 50-50. Next fight, it'd be one power versus two power. So like a 33-66 odds. And I'll use a wheel to like do all of these fights similar to Noah. So and we just kind of fight and race until the end. And at the end of each round, we'll add a space. So, for example, the reason why these tiles here are numbered is because we use these to determine where each player will start the round. So, for example, I will start at tile 6 and the dice will start at tile 5. This is not ideal, I would say, because I can't really show a good example of how a fight would go out because I would simply just have to move on to the golden space. So, for example, let's say that I rolled the 5 and the dice rolled the 6. So, each round will start in the order of me, then the dice, and then whoever else will follow. So, I will go use this wheel spinning app here to determine who'll win the fight because I'm trying to move on to tile 6, and you're kidding me. I hate my life. All right, so I failed to move on to tile 6. So the way the dice works is I have the second wheel here with the 4 directions it could potentially move in. Because it can't move down, I have that option turned off. Or it can move down. Oh, shoot. It can't move up. So let's pretend that up is down, right? Because that is what's happening, right? Yes, it is. Wait, no. It is trying to move up. Never mind. My brain is not working. So because the dice has more power than me, has one more power, it has a higher chance of winning. So 2-1 odds is a 66.67% chance for him to win. But despite those odds, he sucks and he will lose anyways, and I will gain extra power. So I will try to fight the dice again, this time on equal odds, on equal footing. Once again. And oh gosh. Okay, so I lost. And now the dice will try to go again. Hopefully it'll do something different. Okay. Right. It is going right. Yes, that is what I said. I said it was going right. And unfortunately for me, it does mean that the dice does win the round. So the way this will work is I'll have a counter here for the amount of wins. So I have 0 right now, and the dice has 1 win. And now, I guess I could show how the dice adds things to the board. So basically, I roll a d20 to see how beneficial the thing added for the dice will be. Anything below a 10 is like just bad for everyone. Like something from an 11 to a 15 will be beneficial for everyone, and then from a 16 to a 20 will be something that will specifically benefit the dice. So, for example, the dice rolled an 8, so that automatically means that the dice will spawn like an enemy on one of the tiles. So I'll roll to see which tile to see how strong the monster will be. So 12 power, that's really strong. And I'll roll this d6 to see where on the board it'll be. Actually, no, before I roll the d6, I'll roll the d4 to see if I'll make it on a new tile. Or actually, no, I shouldn't make a new tile for it. I'll just roll the d6. Tile 1. Okay, so now we'll have a monster with 12 power on tile 1. For example, let's say we have like a very strong goblin. So something like this. It's a bit big. A goblin on tile 1 with 12 power. So that's kind of how the dice will win the game, or will add things to the board. So the reason I just played this example round to show how the game will work. For our next round, I'll be introducing the Watcher, who will basically be controlled by whoever I feel like. What I mean by this is you can comment under this video the directions that you want the loop of directions you want the Watcher to take. So for example, if you wanted the Watcher to move in just down, you just comment down, and every turn the Watcher will just move down and until he reaches a wall. It just won't move to the end. Or you could use a loop like say down, down, right, right to try and make the Watcher win the game. What I'll do, rather than just like strictly follow say like a comment suggestion, I'll try and make the Watcher follow what I think that comment is trying to convey. So for example, if the commenter clearly is trying to direct the Watcher towards the end goal, I will just make the Watcher try and go towards the end goal, like even if it gets interrupted during his sequence. Because for example, let's say like Mr. Dice is here and interrupts the first down but not the second down. So what happens is Watcher goes down and then right, and then it hits a wall. Obviously that's not what the commenter is trying to get the Watcher to do. So I don't think that would be very fun for the game if the Watcher just kind of hitting walls because its program got interrupted partway. Now it's just not going towards the right place. Maybe later on, if I add enough squares to this game so that if the Watcher goes off course, it'll still do something interesting. Maybe I will start to let it do that. But my game, my rules, I'm just gonna try and do whatever's the most fun to me. So comment down below a sequence of directions you want the Watcher to do, or I don't know, just say, oh, just make the Watcher go to the finish line, or make the Watcher try and beat the Goblin and go to the finish line. Or hell, I don't know, you could say make the Watcher make a beeline towards me and try to make my life hell. I would like if you don't do that, because for personal reasons, I'm already on a losing record. You don't have to bully the little guy, you know. I am the underdog. I'm the underdog. The big dog is Dice. You know, go for Dice. Dice has already won one round and made rolling a 1 an absolute hell of an experience because of something we might see later on. But yeah.